Today we are going to capture wild ducks.
They used to be thought of as real pest animals, and people would just kill them. My dog stops breathing.
For 30 seconds, that dog didn't breathe at all.
This is a really endangered species of antelope.
There was a problem there. He didn't want to get up.
Nothing's working.
Wanted. Wildlife veterinarians to capture and move wild animals. Applicants must be willing to work long hours in severe environments and highly dangerous situations. Meet Ellen Mesner-Rogers and Jorge Paredes. Two young doctors just crazy enough to answer such an ad. Join them in South Africa as they learn firsthand from Dr. Corbus Rath and a team of other game capture specialists the challenges and triumphs of modern-day conservation.
It's going to be the experience of a lifetime.
On the Great African Wildlife Rescue. It is early on a November morning, and Ellen and Jorge are coming to the end of their time in South Africa. Today they're heading deep into Kruger National Park, a sprawling wildlife reserve in which some 1,426 species can be found. Here, among the elephants, giraffes, and lions, it may seem unlikely to find dogs. But this dog is no house pet. This is an African wild dog.
The wild dogs are actually related, like wolves and coyotes are, to our domestic dogs.
Like lions and hyenas, wild dogs are group hunters. In a typical hunt, they will run amongst a herd of wildebeest in order to find the weakest animal. During a pursuit, the dogs will work as a team. 2 or 3 dogs rest while the others give chase and will then trade places.
Wild dogs were found over a lot of South Africa years ago, and they've disappeared from some areas.
There are a number of different reasons for the decline in wild dogs. Widespread disease, habitat loss, competition with other predators, and the indiscriminate killing of these animals by game wardens, hunters, and farmers who considered wild dogs pests. With less than 3,000 adult animals left, wild dogs are one of the most endangered carnivores in Africa. Programs to repopulate these animals have been established in parks throughout South Africa.
2 milligrams of fentanyl.
Dr. Doe Grobler prepares the darts needed to capture the 2 dogs for relocation.
And just over 1 milligram of...
Because these animals are small, the powerful drug used to anesthetize them must be measured very carefully.
Okay, good.
The plan is, once we have the dogs started, they're probably not going to be next to each other. So we'll split in 2, make sure that there's a vet with each capture team to be able to monitor the dogs.
In this densely wooded area, it takes patience to wait for a clear shot.
We have to keep a distance after darting them, far enough that the animal feels calm, but close enough that you don't lose them. Knowing that wild dogs are very sensitive to these drugs, our main concern was to reach the animals as soon as possible and start monitoring the respiration and the heart rate.
Joe and Jorge decided they would stay with this dog and monitor it. Meanwhile, we still had to dart the second one. So I went with JJ, who had the dart gun.
JJ, a Kruger Park ranger, has the task of darting the second wild dog in this thick brush.
And I'm looking and I'm thinking, there's just no opening here. I mean, you know, there's openings here and here, but the leaves are blowing. There's no way he's going to hit this dog. He's going to waste a dart. I'm sure he's missed, but the dog runs away, and there's that dart in its back leg. I am so impressed with that shot.
As Jorge monitors the first dog's breathing and heart rate, he is concerned that it is lower than normal.
40, there's a kind of arrhythmia.
That's really slow, yeah.
Right now, we don't have a problem, but I get this feeling we gotta go. Come on, let's go.
Working as fast as they can, the team loads both animals onto the truck. The dog's breathing and heart rates are monitored while they are given vaccinations against rabies and distemper.
Oh, she's not breathing well.
Yeah, it's just a pause there. It's going through another slow pause.
One of the dogs is still having trouble breathing.
Okay, Joe, let's go. Let's get going to Skukuza.
Ellen and Jorge will stay by the dog's side as the truck speeds back to Skukuza.
We'll check them up, and then I'm going to nail it. So you just check for respiration. Okay. Just check that they keep on respirating.
Up to 41. And that was all the time in the shade.
My dog is starting to do this strange thing with its breathing. It stops breathing for a minute, takes one breath, stops again, and I'm watching it, thinking, okay, it's time, take another breath.
Does that make them breathe? It's supposed to be a point for respiratory.
After we were driving for 5 minutes, I just started to comment to Dope that the respiration was going lower, a little bit lower.
With a needle.
It's really not breathing. And if we don't get this animal breathing again, this animal's gonna die.
Pulse is okay, but breathing.
Breathing is not good at all.
It's not breathing at all, you say? That one?
This one is okay.
Yeah, this one hasn't taken a breath on its own for a bit.
Nearly 30 seconds now.
Chest compressions are used to help get the dog breathing again.
Just do that, Jorge. Continue doing that, please.
What we need to do is reverse it. We need to get that antidote in it, otherwise it's only gonna get worse.
Just do that, that's fine.
Joe gives the dog an injection to reverse the effects of the anesthetics in an attempt to revive him.
Do it, Jorge. Okay, just give it a go. Just wait.
Although his heart is still beating, it has now been more than 90 seconds since the dog has drawn a breath on his own.
No, wait, Jorge, don't do that. Just wait.
There we go.
Okay, you guys gotta hold it down now if she gets up, right? Just sit on the top you as well, please. Just check the breathing now, okay?
Now the dog is still sedated, so it looks like it's asleep, but it's a very weak drug, so we're gonna have to be careful that it doesn't get up and do something or bite somebody. She's breathing!
Just as the first animal begins to stabilize, the dog at Jorge's feet begins to have a similar problem.
I count about 30 seconds, and for 30 seconds that dog didn't breathe at all.
The truck must stop again. It's been several minutes since Ellen's dog was given the reversal drug. There is a real danger that this dog could suddenly wake up.
drops off, Jay. That one?
You live 30 seconds.
If this dog gets up completely, if it wakes up totally, it's going to jump out and get away. At best case scenario. Worst case is we're going to get bitten, and maybe pretty badly because they have really powerful jaws.
Hold, Jay, hold. Hold on. Just hold on its jaw things, okay? Hold on. Just hold on, Jay. You gotta hold. Hold it, Jay. Just hold on. We're going straight to the Bomas, guys. Don't worry. Why's the other one breathing? Nothing.
Nothing. Pulses are weak. You guys okay? We set up our position so that both dogs are being held down, and we just sort of like, drive, Tobe. Let's get there.
We were quite lucky that that animal haven't got recovered completely. We were able to grab him by the ears because he was still under the other anesthetic.
The dogs will be kept here before being taken to their new home in the Umfolozi Game Reserve.
Wild dogs are changing their status in South Africa currently. They used to be thought of as real pest animals, and people would just kill them. I mean, legally they were allowed to kill them. And it's only recently that people have started to change the way they think about them.
As the wild dogs begin their quarantine, Ellen and Jorge embark on what will be their last great African wildlife rescue. The vets are taken to Morrisdale, a private game reserve just outside of Kruger, where Cobus Rath is waiting with a herd of roan antelope that are about to be released from a boma.
This is going to be interesting because we're moving the roan from a small enclosure to a much larger area, several hundred acres. So it's as if they're being released into the wild.
Although roan used to be one of the most widely ranging antelope, their numbers have been greatly reduced due to loss of habitat and poaching. Their unusual markings and distinctive ears made these beautiful creatures prime targets for trophy hunters. Today, roan antelope are receiving attention from conservationists, and there is hope for their future.
These animals were introduced from West Africa, from Benin. And they came here after quarantine there, and then obviously they were put into this confinement to adapt, all right, and to be monitored. And now they're going into a bigger camp on the other side of the farm, all right?
Cobus is going to be darting the animals, and then Ellen and I are going to be taking the animals into the truck and then release them.
It's amusing to see Cobus stalking these animals that are caught by a fence. I mean, they can't go anywhere.
Once started with an anesthetic, it is only a few minutes before the roan feels the drug's effects. A drug mixture has been selected that will keep the animals calm enough for transport, but will not make them completely lose consciousness.
Yeah, the first one is down. It's getting the toxin, and now it's going down now.
The roan's eyes are immediately covered to relax him, and the tongue is pulled out slightly to keep the animal breathing easily. They will be taken two at a time to the release site. Kubus has given Ellen and Jorge the responsibility of supervising this final release. He will stay behind to dart the remaining antelope.
We've been working with Cobus now for almost 5 months, and I think he has a little bit of confidence in us. He's giving us the reversal drugs and just saying, okay, go to the other site and you reverse the animals. I'm just going to stay here, do my job, you go do your job.
Kyk, so pet sy grys saam.
Just make sure that they keep their heads up.
Yeah.
Kyk, daai mense moet help aflaai daaroor.
It was a very nice satisfaction for me, knowing that Cobus was confident enough with us just to give the antidote to the animals and then release them in a different place.
With the first group of roan on the way, the rest of the herd will be darted at once to avoid any injury among the tightly confined group.
I think what we must do is we must dart the whole lot now, because we can keep them under anesthesia, yeah, and look at them, you know, look after them. But if we have 1 or 2 left in the end, they're going to run around the whole time.
Definitely.
So let's get in and dart the lot.
Okay, fine.
Because these are such valuable animals, we want to make sure that each individual is doing fine. And we're numbering them with paint so that it will be very obvious tomorrow when they go to track these animals which ones are which.
Ja.
And then you just grab it down?
The first half of the animals went beautifully, no problems at all. I was a little surprised when I got one animal who I reversed, and instead of popping up and running off like all of the others had, it just was kind of lying there. It definitely wasn't right.
There's a big chance this animal can suffocate himself because of the position of the head and the neck. He kept his head and his neck down. I mean, that's why I started to be concerned about him, and I would try to pull his head up to be able to make him breathe easily.
You should give him some more.
How much you give it this?
0.9.
0.9 and
3, yeah.
Several kilometers away, Kubus loads the last few roan onto the trucks, completely unaware of the problems facing Jorge and Ellen at the release site. As the truck leaves the temporary enclosure, the first half of this relocation is complete. But out at the release site, the problem animal is still not responding.
Well, we're not quite sure if he got 1 or 2 dogs. And I gave him the reversal agent, and he wasn't waking up, so I gave him a little bit more. But that one didn't go into the blood. It didn't go IV, it just went into the skin. So that's at least going to take longer to be absorbed. We just give him a little more of the other type of reversal. And he's improving, but he's not getting up like the others are. He's not jumping right up.
Nothing's working. What we need is the other drug, the other reversal agent, the other antidote. We don't have that with us. Cobus has it.
Do we have a radio? Can we call them?
Ja, they're on their way, Cobus.
They're on the way.
Yeah, Cobus, they're loading that one.
Yeah, but maybe it would be better to call him to make
Yeah.
sure that he brings his black box.
Yeah. Tell him to bring the drug box, please. The moody box.
Ellen and Jorge have done all they can to revive the animal with the tools available to them. At this point, all they can do is wait for Kubus to arrive with the drug box.
Cobus was kind of cute because when he drove up, he knew we were having a problem and he asked us what was going on. And instead of saying to me, all right, what you need to do is, he asked me.
This is 100 mg per mil?
50. Yeah. Let's give it, what do you want to give it?
I was going to give it like a full reversal, 120. So.
Yeah. And I'll just give it a bit of Dopram beforehand.
It's pretty awake, so the IV is going to be fun.
All right.
I was a little bit concerned about this last animal that he didn't want to really to wake up straight away. This was our last capture in South Africa, and we always wanted to finish a capture with success.
You okay?
No,
I'm done. All right, let's step back.
There we go.
That's what we wanted.
Oh, he got up once before. He didn't get very far.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
should be up by
Well,
now.
we gave him 3 and he was still salivating.
There we go. Yeah, that's perfect.
That's nice. Very nice.
Well, that was excellent. Thanks a lot. You guys did well. I mean, it was nice to leave you on your own and know that everything is fine on the other side. And seeing that this is probably one of the last operations you'll do, it was very nice.
Good.
But yeah, that was a lot of fun.
That
Thanks
was
a lot, eh? Well done.
Thank you.
Okay.
This was really an experience of a lifetime. I've spent 5 months now here in South Africa working with Cobus and with Jorge. And I have to say that it has definitely met any expectations I might have had and gone way beyond that. This has made me a lot more confident as a vet, and I do feel like I've gained a lot of experience here.
That's better.
Before I started this job, I knew that it's something that I wanted to do for a living, especially now after being in South Africa, and it was really a great experience. It's the whole country, the whole culture, the people, the animals. There are too many beautiful things that I remember that I will always keep in mind. I mean, it's for sure something I want to continue doing for the rest of my life.
Okay.